put this out another common sense type way. Silver's not going to save you in a crisis, a real crisis. And a lot of people figured that out, right? And, you know, I was going to get a little buddy for him before, but this little kitten, his name, I forgot about that because I was going to look at this other cat because he can hang around. But the other kitten died, didn't make it, you know. It was in a rescue place, but I don't know, I might get another cat for him one of these days. I want to get set up where maybe he can run around the whole yard, and then I'll get another cat. That's way he can go inside and outside, but that's another subject. But I'm going to talk about, you know, I don't like these guys on, this is really a lot why I got on with doing the silver videos. Because I don't like the advice a lot of people are giving you on silver. Either it's from the mainstream media telling you it's a bunch of garbage, or, you know, they got the silver bullion dealers out there and their henchmen and, you know, Sprott and the boys. Now, Sprott is going to make out a lot of money, I think, because later on he's going to be selling it to you when, you know, there's a cat flying around out there, if you heard it. The Sprott's going to be making a lot of money later on, but, you know, there's going to be a lot of people telling you to buy, because the earth is caving in and all this kind of crap. And, you know, Faber's going to make a lot of money and everybody else, right? But maybe not the middle class, because they're going to be the men buying it up at that time. Now, I'm going to keep things, you know, if you're on, say, a desert island, for instance, right? You know, is a pile of silver coins going to do you any damn good? No, right? So if there's a real crisis, like something like Faber talks about, you know, the boom, doom, gloom, and all this kind of garbage, you know, he's got a lot of money, man, right? I mean, it's smart for him to invest in gold and silver, but if you're the average person, well, you should be more in silver than gold, because it's not going to be too easy probably for a smaller person to buy a lot of gold, right? It's probably not good to do that. But the thing is, you should be investing in things that keep you sustainable on a day-to-day basis, like that type of stuff. You know, food, fuel, firepower, tools, whatever the hell there is. Be a little more independent. Learn how to do more things on your own. And that's more important than silver by far. You know, it's almost like the halfway redneck mentality and the correct type of redneck mentality. There's two different types of rednecks. They got the kinds that are screwed up and the kind that are good. You know, it depends on what it is. But if you get my drift on that. But, you know, today, you know, you're looking at the markets. I kind of figured they're not going to do a lot. Oil might go up a lot in December. Not a lot, but it start picking up again. It's typical. We might see the metals start picking up again in December. I don't think they're going to do that much this month, you know. I don't think they're going to go below 18 or anything like that, but they're not going to do a lot. I just think it's going to stay pretty steady this whole month. Now, you know, I talk a lot. I think my silver, the health videos and some of the how-to videos are more important than the silver videos, and I do a lot more of these silver videos because I don't like the message these other guys are playing. Because it's a good investment now, even though it looks like it's been a bad investment the last 2 years, it's still a good investment and it's going to play out. But it's not something you should ever put all your money into. You know, some of the more important things I put money into, I'm going to tell you, like, well, let me get onto one thing on with some of the markets. You know, the indication that they're still pumping up bubbles is still there. Is still there. You know, you're looking at the real estate market going up like this, and the interest rates are low. But you know, the real indicator that the real estate market is kind of going into a bubble again, even though it hasn't hit anywhere near what it did before, is that there's less houses and homes being sold. They're being sold at higher prices, but there's less of them being sold, which means they're going to, you know, more of the money is being pushed to the top of the pyramid, right? That's an important consideration. So the average economy overall, the strength of where, you know, the middle class is and the regular people, it's not strong. It's actually weak. And, you know, I pointed to that garbage index and the prostitution and gambling index, which was totally the opposite of what the PMI numbers were for Chicago. It was like totally the opposite. I don't trust those PMI numbers from Chicago. I think they were totally bogus. They were the best primary manufacturers index. They were the best numbers in like 30 years. It's like ridiculous. That's not correct. It's because they needed good numbers because of, the October problem with the Obamacare and shutting the government down. Actually, that was all contrived too, right? Fine. Because, they wanted to find a way to stop Obamacare, which is total government control, so they shut the government down. And they might stop it. Who the hell knows? Or slow it down, right? But I want to give you one big consideration. This is also hinted at through all these conspiracy videos you see on the internet and stuff. The guys on the top, they want to retain power. It's not even like there's just this one group. There's layers. And they all have the same attitude in various degrees. The higher up they go, the more insulated and cold-blooded they are, man. But they always put forth this good foot about, charity, philanthropy, giving back to the people. Oh, it's bullshit. Trust me, it's bullshit. They're all about retaining power. That's the whole game. It's a shrewd for chess game. So if silver goes up to $200 an ounce, it may, because historically, if you look back from the 1800s all the way back, silver's always been at least $200 an ounce in like real terms. It may go that high. I don't think that's outlandish. I mean, it might spike past $200 an ounce and drop to like 150 or 100 something. It might spike way past $200 an ounce for one point in time. I don't know. But that's going to be some years from now. And we might have I think we're going to have a good year in 2014 because it's every 3 years we seem to have this cycle in the commodities and metals and a few other things coming up. But do not get too concentrated on only investing in silver. That's a fallacy. Before, I can remember like one of the most important things, I invest a lot into health type things. And one thing I've been doing a lot too recently is, this BT7 biotuner from Soda Instruments. I use it 2 20-minute sessions a day on setting 1 and setting 3. And it's something that actually can help improve your short-term memory, somewhat of your intelligence in some way. So, I always figure it gives me an edge on what I read. If I read different things, I'll retain more and, analyze better or whatever. I do every trick I possibly can with health and improving the function of the mind. So, that might give me a little bit better edge on giving it silver analysis. But, I have to point out that, and this is really common sense, if I look at something silver, would I rather have an ounce of silver, or I'm going to point to something else that's silver colored, or would I rather have this? This is a little ratchet, for, it takes out your standard size spark plugs and stuff. These are, the bigger spark plugs, right, the 13, 16s, and it's got the swivel head. This is more important than an ounce of silver, by far. All right? I mean, even this can be traded if you're like in a pinch. You know what I'm saying? If you find the right buyer. And that's part of the, the reason for buying silver and all this type of stuff. This is actually more important than an ounce of silver. Now, I actually do have quite a bit of silver and palladium, right? I don't want to say, we'll just say I have quite a bit. I don't want to say because, whatever I say on here can and will be held against me in the future. I guess quite a bit is more than 10 ounces, But, the thing is you have to put things in, Mark Farber talks about the boom, doom, and gloom and all this type of stuff. He's got different strategies because of the type of wealth he has. I think that guy's okay. He's not like a mean person, you know what I mean? Like some of the people you might see on the top that are like cold-blooded as all hell. But, for the average person to invest too much in precious metals, even though they're going to go way up, you have to remember that precious metals, the reason they're going to be worth more is because you're going to exchange them for something tangible or some skilled laborers, or even when you say something tangible, that means it took so many man hours of machinery and skilled labor to put together, correct? You know? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's like, really, what is your long-term goals? What are your long-term goals? You're not going to actually probably sit and say, well, yeah, because the people that are wealthy, there's a reason there's the people that are wealthy. They got an attitude like they use everybody around them. All right? That's why they're wealthy. And they could do it with a smile and all this other kind of shit. And that they live for the game. They live for the game. So, like, most people just don't have that type of mentality. That's why they're not wealthy. And they never will be. So, I mean, if you're looking to just, survive and do okay and whatever the hell it is, you don't want to, like, do the exact same strategies of, say, Sprott and Faber and invest a load of your money into silver and gold and stuff like that. Generally speaking, most people don't want to do that because the wealthy have an attitude that most people can't fathom. They can't fathom it. Now, I've been around some of this shit, so that's why I don't really want to reveal names and who the hell I am and all this kind of crap, but I could, there's a lot of stuff out there, man, you wouldn't believe. You wouldn't believe, man. And the truth is crazier than the fiction. But, it's like they almost have a spiteful attitude. If you got something, they want it, and it's not obvious how they're going to get it. So, you just got to watch for that. So, I just want to point this out for the average person. Silver, don't abandon the investment yet. Don't abandon it. Don't like sell, I got to sell when it hits $30 or some crap. It's going to go much higher. It's going to go to the triple digits, at least. At least. It's going to take some years. Not like 5-10 years. I think it's going to be 2017, 2018 when we hit this big spike. But when that happens, there's going to be probably a lot of silver unrest, and, there's probably going to be a lot of bad things going on. So, you might want to, if you make a lot of money on the metals and stuff like that, you better keep your mouth shut, better stay low profile, and you better stay down to earth. That's a very important consideration. But, even if you had all the money in the world and you had billions of dollars and all the power, the most important thing actually is health. And a lot of people just don't think of it that way. They don't think of it that way. So, some of these health videos I put out I think are actually far more important. But do remember that silver's not going to save you, man. It's not going to save you. And I don't like these guys out there saying you got to put all your money into it. It's still an excellent investment. I don't want anybody to abandon the investment. I don't want, like, people if you got money that you just want to save or whatever the heck it is, you're better off saving silver than you are saving fiat cash. I think that's a better investment. But you have to have all your other things in line before you go ahead and do that. You better have your food. You better have your ways you can survive in a crisis. Because when Mark Farber talks about, doom, gloom, and boom, if there's a catastrophic problem in the United States with, they can't sell the bonds, the interest rates are going up, and, we really are living in a bubble economy that's artificially floated right now. And I don't want to get anybody doom and gloom because negative attitudes make things worse. But it's going to actually lead to worse things. And just you sitting on a pile of silver or something like that is not going to save you. You actually have to know, your redneck type style things, how to fix cars, how to do roofs, how to do electrical work, how to do plumbing, how to do agriculture, everything else out there, and also stay healthy and also have a positive attitude about the whole thing so you can overcome any problems. I don't like these doom and gloomers, man. They're garbage. They aren't helping at all. And Alex Jones is the king of the doom and gloomers out there, man. He exposes stuff, but big deal. One of the biggest history lessons I ever got into, which I read a lot of books on, was the rise and fall of the Roman Empire. If you look at the rise and fall of the Roman Empire, it lasted many, many centuries. There were so many tumultuous events that went on that, people never even realized what was going on. That, was this the end or no? It restored, and order's been restored now for another 200 years or 100 years or 80 years, and everything seems smooth, and something else happened. It's like big deal. I mean, just roll with the whole deal. But people have, when these ones that are silver pumpers generally are pumping negative attitudes, bad vibrations, and bad outlook. It's almost like the only way to salvation is going to be through silver, and that's bullshit. Okay, that's not correct. That's not correct at all. So you got to look at a whole host of different things. And like I said, I've been doing a lot of different health things because I've been trying to improve I had measured my intellect. It was up there pretty good. It was like 130 something IQ a couple times. That's not bad. It's pretty good, but it's not the best in the world. But I try to give myself an edge so I could say some other things that are coming out from left field that maybe other people aren't. But I generally don't like doing these silver videos as much as the health videos, because I think the health videos and the how-to videos are giving you something really concrete to go on that will last people forever. See, the silver videos I put out more because I don't like what a lot of other people are saying. They're full of it. They're full of it. But that's not to say that silver's a bad investment. It's gonna throw you for a loop. It's gonna go real high, and it may actually hit the 500 plus an ounce at one spike point and drop down and settle below 200 at 100 something someplace at some point in the future. That's probably what's going to happen. Don't sound right now, but that's probably what's going to happen. If you look back, the world might be very much changed at that point in time. The political structures and everything else out there. But the elite don't want you to have money. They don't want you to have independence. They want to own you, man. That's the way it's always been. So just remember that you don't want to put all your resources into a metal, because a metal does not help you in a lot of different ways. It doesn't. You got to remember that you want to be as independent as possible. So if there really is this big financial crisis that comes along, it's not going to really be a problem, because the middle class can actually just work their way through it one way or the other very easily. Not extremely easily, but if they have, if they just keep a positive attitude and just do one thing at a time, if there's a catastrophic, the sky fell and a financial system collapse like all the doom and gloomers are saying, if the middle class keeps and retains their skills and positive attitudes, hey, it'll work out just fine. It'll work out just fine. And the thing is, when that happens, I pretty much know what's going to go on. That's when Faber's going to dump his metals on the middle class, and Sprott's going to dump his metals on the middle class, and Maloney's going to do the same thing. He's going to dump the metals on the middle class. See, I've been right all along. You should have bought it here. Now you can buy that, And Morgan's going to do the same thing. Right? Right. So anyway, it's a good investment now, so that's all my update, because I think I'm going to stick a little, like I've been saying, I want to stick more with health videos and how-to videos, but I want to continue these silver videos because it's a good investment, but it's also going to be a trap. It's not a trap right now. It's going to be a trap, man. So, like I said, I'm truly out for the middle class. And that don't make me popular with the guys on the top, but I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Screw them.